You think you're doing everything right. You're hitting the gym, you're watching what you eat, maybe you're even getting decent sleep. But the scale hasn't moved in weeks. Here's the uncomfortable truth nobody wants to hear. You might be accidentally shutting down your own fat burning without even knowing it. Today, I'm going to walk you through 6 specific things that can instantly kill your body's ability to burn fat. And some of these are going to completely change how you think about your daily routine. Stay with me because number 4 is the one most people get completely wrong. Let's start with number 1, and this one catches almost everybody off guard. Eating too little for too long. Now I know what you're thinking. Fewer calories means more fat loss, right? That's the logic most people operate on. But your body is not a simple calculator. When you dramatically cut your food intake for an extended period, your body interprets that as a threat. It thinks you're in a famine. So what does it do? It adapts. It starts slowing down your metabolism, reducing the number of calories you burn at rest, and it begins holding onto fat stores as a survival mechanism. Your body actually starts breaking down muscle tissue instead, because muscle is metabolically expensive to maintain. Less muscle means a slower metabolism, which means even less fat burning over time. This is why crash diets seem to work at first, and then completely stall. You haven't lost the ability to lose fat forever, but you've triggered a protective response that makes it much harder. The fix is eating enough to fuel your body properly, not starving it into submission. Number 2 is something you probably do every single morning without thinking twice. Drinking your calories. Coffee drinks, fruit juices, smoothies loaded with fruit and honey, protein shakes with added syrups. These can easily add 400 to 600 calories to your day before you've even eaten a real meal. The problem isn't just the calories themselves. It's the fact that liquid calories don't trigger the same satiety signals as solid food. Your brain doesn't register that you've consumed a significant amount of energy, so you end up eating just as much as you normally would on top of those liquid calories. Plus, many of these drinks are packed with sugar that causes a rapid spike in blood glucose, which triggers a surge of insulin, and insulin's primary job is to store energy, not burn it. When insulin levels are elevated, fat burning essentially pauses. So that morning orange juice or that blended cafe drink is doing more damage to your fat loss goals than you probably realize. Which brings us perfectly to number 3. The insulin connection goes much deeper than most people appreciate. Every time you eat carbohydrates, especially refined ones like white bread, pasta, sugary snacks, or processed cereals, your blood sugar rises and your pancreas releases insulin to bring it back down. This is completely normal and necessary. But here's the issue. When insulin is present in your bloodstream, your body cannot access fat stores for energy. Fat burning requires a hormonal environment where insulin is low. So if you're constantly snacking, eating refined carbs throughout the day, or spiking your blood sugar repeatedly, you are keeping insulin elevated for most of your waking hours. There's almost no window where your body can shift into fat-burning mode. The solution isn't necessarily eliminating carbs entirely, but spacing out your meals, choosing whole food sources, and reducing constant snacking can create those low insulin windows where fat burning actually happens. Now here's number 4, and this is the one I promised would surprise you. Chronic stress. Most people think of stress as a mental or emotional issue, not a physical one that affects fat loss. But your body cannot tell the difference between being stressed about a work deadline and being chased by a predator. Both trigger the same hormonal response, a flood of cortisol. Cortisol is your body's primary stress hormone, and in short bursts, it's actually helpful. But when you're chronically stressed, cortisol stays elevated, and elevated cortisol does several damaging things to fat loss. First, it raises blood sugar, which raises insulin, which blocks fat burning. Second, it specifically promotes fat storage around the abdomen. Third, it breaks down muscle tissue, reducing your metabolic rate over time. And fourth, It dramatically increases cravings for high sugar and high fat foods. So the stressed person who emotionally eats at night isn't weak. They're responding to a powerful hormonal drive. Managing stress isn't just good for your mental health. It is a direct fat-burning strategy. Number 5 might be the most underrated factor in this entire list. Sleep deprivation. When you don't get enough quality sleep, 2 hormones get thrown completely out of balance. Ghrelin, which is the hormone that signals hunger, goes up. Leptin, which is the hormone that signals fullness, goes down. That combination means you wake up hungrier, you feel less satisfied after eating, and you end up consuming significantly more calories throughout the day. Studies have shown that sleep-deprived people can eat anywhere from 300 to 500 extra calories daily compared to when they're well-rested. But it gets worse. Poor sleep also elevates cortisol, which, as we just covered, blocks fat burning and promotes fat storage. And when you're sleep-deprived, your body preferentially burns muscle rather than fat for energy. So you can be doing everything else perfectly, but if you're regularly sleeping 5 or 6 hours instead of 7 to 9, you are actively working against yourself every single day. And finally, number 6, over-exercising without adequate recovery. This one feels completely counterintuitive because we've all been told that more exercise equals more results. And up to a point, that's true. But there's a line, and many motivated people cross it regularly. When you train too hard too frequently without giving your body time to recover, cortisol levels rise chronically, inflammation increases throughout the body, and your nervous system becomes overtaxed. In this state, your body is not in a repair and rebuild mode. It's in a damage control mode. Fat burning drops, performance drops, and your risk of injury goes up significantly. You might notice you feel constantly tired, your workouts feel harder than usual even though you're not progressing, or you're getting sick more often. These are signs your body is overwhelmed, not being optimized. Strategic rest days, deload weeks, and proper recovery nutrition are not signs of laziness. They're what allow your body to actually adapt and burn fat more efficiently over the long run. So let's bring this all together. 6 things that are silently shutting down your fat burning. Eating too little for too long and triggering your body's starvation response. Drinking calorie-dense beverages that spike insulin and bypass your hunger signals. Constantly keeping insulin elevated through refined carbs and non-stop snacking. Living in a state of chronic stress that floods your system with cortisol. Sacrificing sleep and throwing your hunger hormones into chaos. And overtraining without sufficient recovery. The beautiful thing about this list is that most of these are completely fixable without extreme changes. You don't need a new diet program. You don't need to buy any supplements. You don't need to exercise more. In many cases, you need to do less, rest more, manage your stress better, and pay attention to the hormonal environment you're creating inside your body every single day. Fat burning is not just about willpower. It's not just about calories in and calories out, though that matters. It's about understanding the biological signals your body is constantly responding to and working with them instead of against them. If even one of these 6 things resonated with you today, start there. Just one change. Pick the one that feels most relevant to your life right now and focus on it this week. Small, consistent adjustments done repeatedly over time are what create the real lasting results that nobody posts about on social media. If you found this valuable, drop a comment below telling me which one of these you think has been secretly holding you back. I read every single one. And if you want to go deeper on any of these topics, there's a video right on your screen that's going to take your understanding even further. See you there.